Hey, what's up everyone? Pastor JAMZ here back with another review, and today we're looking at the debut studio album from Mk.Gee, Two Star and the Dream Police. Now I know I just said debut studio album, but Michael Todd Gordon, also known as Mk.Gee, his stage name, 26-year-old American singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and producer from Linwood, New Jersey, has been in the game for quite some time. The music industry has treated him well with him releasing some singles back in 2017. I actually heard his I guess it's called an EP now, but I don't know why it's shown as an album on Spotify and Apple Music. Pronounced Mk.Gee was his, I guess, first full release in 2018, and then he released an EP, or I guess mixtape, in 2020, which I completely and unfortunately overlooked, due to 2020 just being a bad year for all of us. And I did enjoy his 2018 release quite a bit, and was really excited to see that I guess he is now coming out. He did come out with this full length studio album, debut album, and I was really happy for him. And Two Star in the Dream Police is 12 tracks and 33 minutes. Let's jump right into it. And right off the bat, when I mentioned earlier that he's a producer and multi instrumentalist, he is a producer and multi instrumentalist. You can hear that right off the bat, even in his older stuff that I enjoyed, well, a lot actually. I went into this with open ears and was really looking for something that he would convey, in a sense, to show off those skills again, since I enjoyed his production in his first release back in 2018 so much. And it does not I mean, and calling it amazing is an understatement. He is so very well put together with the instruments that he uses, these very distant keys, very electric guitar, strings and solos, but it's not rough to the ear like you would think. The whole album essentially is inspired heavily on 80s pop, rock, and I guess dream pop, and there's elements of those two genres together throughout the whole album. But it's presented in such a way that it's inspired, and, well, heavily inspired, but it doesn't reinvent the wheel. He stays true to the sound, yet presents it in a way where new and veteran listeners can enjoy the whole album. It's a pretty decent size, well, short album, decent sized. 33 minutes, 12 tracks is, pretty straightforward. You can even listen to something like this from start to finish, and I think you should. And something I believe he did on purpose, to kind of just group all these tracks together as one easy listen. And that's what it is. I don't really have any complaints about the album for what it is and how it's presented. It is so beautiful, very ambient, mysterious in a way. I wouldn't say eerie, but there are vocals on here, like a female choir that's very distant, very harmonic, and doesn't it just provides more ambience and this sense of mystery, and like as if you're you're walking through a dark path on the woods, and just the stars are lit up and things of that nature. It's not necessarily dark or ominous. It's very lively with how he presents it in the way that he does, and I honestly, it's astonishing. And I got to give him so much praise and a lot of props for taking a big risk on something like this. A sound like this is very hard to come by. I believe a lot of artists nowadays are trying to bring back older sounds, but it's so muddled and, saturated in a way that it kind of sounds like you've heard this before. It's very run of the mill, easy paycheck type thing just to get a quick radio hit, but not here on Two Star and the Dream Police by Mk.Gee. Uh, he kind of, it's very distant. The vocals are very distant, very light on the ear, except for the track Alesis, or Alesis, track number 9, where throughout the whole album, it's kind of, you kind of get this build up of instrumentals. You get more acoustic, not acoustic. I'm sorry, electric guitar riffs and solos that are kind of like distant thunder sounds. It's not very rough on the ear, like I said earlier, but there is a build up. And track number 9, Alesis or Alesis, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, is the track that most people would probably have a better time digesting because it's so straightforward to the point and probably the most 80s pop rockish, and and probably the one that will, like I said, will be the easiest to start off with, and then you can go back and listen to the whole album again and kind of get a real sense of what he was trying to go for here. Now I do gotta say, unfortunately, the later half, the last few tracks on the album are probably the weakest, except for the last track, Dream Police, track number 12. That does end off on a good note. But Break the Spell and a little bit more. Break the Spell to me just feels like a very long interlude, and there's not really a lot much going on. Given that the track before that, Ailsis, was the most straightforward, hard hitting, uh, the whole, like, if you want to get a sense of what the whole album's about, you listen to that track. And to come off of something that was just so hard hitting like that, and then you get this 4 minute long track that serves more like an interlude, and it's already at the later tracks of the album, doesn't really feel like to me that, in my opinion, it doesn't need to be there. Or you could have just put it in the middle of the album, and it's more like pick and choose to the listener if they want to skip it or not. But that's like the only bad thing, or the only negative criticism that I have to give the album. Hats off to Mk.Gee, and if you want to listen to his older projects as well, I highly recommend. If you want to get a sense of how he was trying to, well, was getting his start, getting his footing and his sound, and for this being his debut full-length studio album, I can only imagine how it's going to be much better for him from here on out. If you want to listen to something ambient, muddled, and mysterious, very beautiful on the way he presents 80s pop rock instrumentals and production, and even amazing, distant lyricism from here, like throughout the whole album. I highly recommend this 8 out of 10 album. The way it's presented, I mean, he doesn't reinvent the wheel, yet he does present it in a way where it can draw in new and veteran listeners. It's not going to scare nobody away. It's an easy listen from start to finish for the most part. There's a little bump in the road here and there, but it's easily, you can dismiss it if you want. Anyways, that is the review. I hope you all enjoyed it. Link in the description below if you want to check it out. Look out also for my awesome jams and sour jams. Hope you're all looking for forward to the next review. Pass the jams out.